Welcome to the Elite Life with Trisha and Kylie. This is where we'll teach you how to develop grit, give yourself grace, and succeed in real estate. So let's dive in.
Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Grit, Grace, and Real Estate here on the Elite Life. I'm your hostess, Trish, and with me is Kylie and our friend, Kristen.
Hi.
Hey, Kristen. We are so excited to be here, and today we're going to dive into what is branding and why your name as an agent is important, and what you develop as a brand is what's going to be representative of your business.
Exactly. And a lot of people come into this field, especially from other industries, and they don't understand the importance of their name and getting it out there, because as real estate agents, sure, we're selling houses, but mostly we're selling ourselves. So let's dive in and talk about what branding is and what it means. That way everybody listening can have a good grasp and we can all be on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. So branding really is all about how you're going to show up and who you're going to serve, right? What do you want your name to represent? And so agents can go about branding a lot of different ways, but basically as an agent, you need to think of yourself as the company. And they really break it down to 9 different types of company brands. So you might be disruptive, and you can think of that as kind of rebellious or confident or daring. You might think of some of those realtors that you look at their photos and they got the crossed arms in front of them, like your Christmas photo. And like some of the companies you might think of are like Dr. Pepper, Airbnb, more of those like edgy kind of leaders. I really resonate with conscious branding. So higher purpose, inspiring, thoughtful, transparent, like Soul Cycle or Patagonia. And then there's service branding. So you're serving a customer need. You're going out there as humble and friendly. Maybe your Nordstrom type business. The other one they talk about is innovative. So you're constantly introducing advances and breakthroughs. You're very tech savvy. You're more risk-taking and imaginative, very progressive. Another brand they talk about is value. And these would be like your realtors that are like, I'll list your house for $1,000 flat fee. And then us realtors are like, well, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
They're gonna slap that sign in the yard that's probably gonna suck, and that's gonna be it, right? They're the Walmart brand, right? And then you have performance branding. You have a high performance standard. You're precise. You're competent. You're reliable. You're FedEx, right? You can count on us. We're gonna get it there. So those are a few of the different type of brands, and that really, like, whatever you decide to brand yourself with, and you might be a combination of a couple of those, but that's how you're going to show up in your social media, in the type of clothes you wear, right? Like I interviewed an agent the other day and he's like, I don't ever wear suits. Okay, well then you're probably the Walmart brand, right? Like, if you're not going to suit up, you're probably not showing in Birmingham. Those aren't the clients, but there's still clients that need those realtors and that type of service, right? There's clients for every single type of brand and every single type of service, and how you show up are the clients that you're going to be serving. So, your name is going to follow you wherever you go. And Kristen, you've done such a phenomenal job of going on social media and saying, this is who I am. I'm fun. I'm going to be that realtor that goes the extra mile and makes you smile and brings my lawnmower and cuts your lawn and does all of these amazing things. So, Kylie, you want to kind of jump in there?
Yeah, no, totally. I know I just said, yeah, no. That makes sense. I'm glad that you brought all of that to the table because, again, a lot of agents come in and they don't understand what branding is. They don't understand the importance of it in their business. And it's really the longevity of your business too, right? Because your name is important because even though, like here in Michigan, we do have specific laws, like when you're advertising, you have to have your brokerage's name on there and it has to be bigger than your name, blah, 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 blah. But what if you leave that brokerage? What if you decide to go somewhere somewhere else? What if you decide to open up your own brokerage? Having your own name and putting your own name out there and having your own name as the brand, that's you. And that's going to follow you wherever you go, like you were saying. And I love, Kristen, what you did with your last name. You have one of the most memorable like catchphrases that I've ever heard. And I mean, there's a lot of competition out there, right? Like you've got the Z guarantee and you've got all of this other stuff. Can you tell us a little bit more about where that came from? Because I love it so much.
Sure. So coming into the real estate world, I knew that branding was going to be so important. In my previous life, I had my own photography business and it was attached to my name. And I struggled with what to name that photography business because I have a lot of letters in my name.
Let us say your last name.
So it's Kristen Schopieray, but it's spelled Schopieray. And you have to say it in that cadence.
What's funny is like I went home after we did training together. I went home. I was like, I met this really cool chick. I'm going to find her on Facebook. I'm like, Schopieray. Schopieray.
Yep, and those are all normal. Schopieray, Scopiary. Those are like some of the normal.
Sounds like a medical procedure. I'm going in for a scopiary today.
Yes. I'm never going to look at that the same now. So I knew that branding was going to be important, and I wanted to encompass my personality in it too. So I wanted to have a slogan that just kind of encompassed as much as I could about my personality in a short little snippet. So my husband and I, we went back and forth. We kind of, played with some ideas, and thankfully I have this great group of girlfriends that they're kind of my brain trust.
Yeah.
And so I kind of threw out some of our ideas to them and we spitballed and we came up with different iterations and one of them threw out Shoop, there it is. And I was like, stop. We found it. Yes. And I think it's perfect because, if you're a child of the 90s, you know the song. Absolutely. And it just is one of those things where it encompasses my name. It's catchy. It's there.
Memorable.
Yes. And then you can have fun with it too, right? And you could do, shoop, there it is. Get going with it too. So.
I love that so much. I love it so much. So, like I said, Kristen and I met in training, in STARS training, in the Elite office. And we instantly had a bond over momness and pizza.
Oh, yes.
And how did you and Trisha meet?
So we met at the CrossFit gym that we went to. Yeah.
I feel like Grand Trunk should sponsor us at this point.
They've really
been in every episode.
Note to self.
Right.
Yeah, and so, Trish and I knew, and we kind of were starting to get to know each other a little bit then, and then COVID hit and all that craziness. But I had told one of our mutual friends, that I was entertaining getting into real estate again. It's something that I've thought about for maybe a decade or so. And with COVID, I really had that time of self-reflection and kind of had a lot of deep conversations with my husband. And we just kind of came to the point of, if not now, when? I've been thinking about it for so long. Clearly, there's something to it. What's the worst that happens? I scratch the itch. I try it. It's not quite for me and I move on. Yeah. Or what's the best that happens? I love it. I find my passion, maybe make a little bit of money too, and everything is golden. So we decided to give that a try. But I had told this mutual friend that I was thinking about it. I got a lot of different perspectives. A lot of them were from either people who were nearing retirement or they were single men. And I kind of wanted to get the mom perspective because that was one of the things holding me back. And she said, you got to talk to Trish. I'm like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. And we
solves all problems.
Yes,
talk to Trish.
To this day, it still solves all the problems. And we had such a great long conversation about it and got to see it from different perspectives. And that's really what pushed me over the edge. Like, okay, let's do this.
Yay.
Yeah. Awesome. And I always like to be very transparent about things. And I think I know I was with you and everybody who comes in. And I think that real estate is such a perfect job for moms, like just such a perfect job for moms because you can, as my mom used to say, like bring home the bacon and cook it up too. Right.
Yeah.
And when you came in, I'm like, listen, I'm going to teach you a lot of things. And if you take those things and you put them into practice, you will be successful. And you did. did just that. And I'm so proud of you because you're not even a full year in and you have knocked it out of the park. Like we gave you, the Rising Star Award because when it came to dollar amount closed, you had closed more volume than any other of our agents this year. And we recruited 39 new agents this year. So of 39 new agents, you had the highest volume. You did everything that we put into the path. You're like, all right, Trish said do XYZ. I'm going to do XYZ and I'm going to throw some sparkle and glitter on it. And it's been so fantastic just to watch you grow and be successful. It's been awesome. How has it affected your life? How do you feel about it?
I am so incredibly proud. And it was kind of a long emotional journey to get to the real estate field. I struggled a lot when I was younger, especially coming out of high school and going into college. And I had all these friends that knew I'm going to be a nurse, I'm going to be a lawyer, a dentist, a pharmacist, an engineer. And here I was just, I'm happy to be here. I knew I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't know what it was. And I was kind of like a dog in a field of squirrels. I'd say, oh, teaching, this is it. I love it. Oh, criminal justice, this is it. I know it. And then, I just get excited because there's so many cool opportunities in this world and which one is the good fit for me. Mm-hmm. And so coming out of college, I really had a hard time with that. And then, probably 3-4 years ago, I had another time period where I need a change, I need a challenge. Let's explore this. And did a lot of self-reflection. I knew that I needed something where there was not to be repetitive, but a challenge, where I can do X, Y, and Z. And then if I feel I need more, I can go over to A, B, and C. And then I could try this and pivot. And real estate really hits all that. I can work more with sellers or buyers or try investors, or I could take on more clients, or if I need to, I can pump the brakes and chill and do some self-reflection and spend time with my family or go on vacation and things like that. So I really like that part of it. Oh my God, I forgot the question. I get so into it.
No, you were
so
doing
sorry.
great. We were just talking about what drew you to real estate and telling us how you got into it and where you started.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're great.
Nobody's mad.
So with real estate, my husband and I, we had purchased our own homes. We had gone through the process with our realtor, and I always loved it. I loved starting to think about it and going onto the home search sites and finding out where I want to live, what can I get for my money, kind of doing that prospecting, and then jumping onto the MLS searches when my realtor came into the picture and going to the showings and seeing how I could put my stamp on the house and seeing some of the unique features of the homes.
Those interesting ones.
Yes. Leading to good conversations later. So it just was always interesting from that facet. But then talking about how I can make it mine and I'm in control and I don't have to jump through a bunch of political hoops. And if I want to do great, it's on me. And if it stinks, it's on me as well. And I know what I need to do. So I really like that about it, and that it's at my pace, my discretion, and that it's a team effort still too. Yeah. That's really important to me, is working in a team. And that's what I think has been a key to my success too, is making it a team effort between the listing agent, myself, the title company, the loan officer, and okay, let's have fun. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to do it together and be successful, because we all have the same goal, right? Yeah. Of changing keys.
Absolutely. And I think you've been super successful in that, because we get 5-star reviews all the time about how shoop, there it is, made this process so fun and so seamless and was just such a joy to work with. And it's fantastic to watch our clients just gush over the experience with you and how your brand really stands for fun and a good time. When you were building your brand, kind of what were you thinking about when people see Kristen the Realtor? What did you want them to see?
Yeah, so I really wanted them to see that I am not that stereotypical pushy salesperson. That's not my MO. I'm never going to be that person. I wanted them to see that I was friendly, approachable, caring, kind, that I was going to be their teammate along the process, and that we were going to have fun doing it. That, the Kristen that they see is the same Kristen that you see at the gym and in my friend group as a daughter. I don't have that ability to turn different personas on. So I just wanted them to see me at my core and that we would enjoy the process.
Yeah, and I think you do a great job of that, like with your Get to Know Me Mondays.
Those I love those.
They're my favorite, right?
I think my favorite one was when you talked about your favorite Ninja Turtle. Because I mean, you know, when you're trying to come up, like it can seem really overwhelming when you're trying to come up with things after like my favorite food, my favorite color, my favorite song, my favorite movie. And then one day I pop up Instagram, I'm like, this is so awesome. Like, it's a question like I never would have thought of. And I added it to my list. So
I love it.
Coming soon.
For sure.
Absolutely.
It really keeps social media fun in general. It's like, oh, I wonder what Kristen's talking about today. Like, I've really enjoyed watching all your social media posts. It's so good because I feel like social media can be such a negative thing or such a positive thing, and you're one of the few that really make it a positive experience, something fun, and getting to know you, right? Like we know each other and we see each other, but getting to know some of those little details, like, oh, Kristen likes roller coasters. I like roller coasters. We just became best friends, right? Or when I seen you like board games, and I'm like, oh, I like board games. This is awesome, right?
Game night.
Yes.
Part of the purpose of it too is to not only allow them to see me and see that I'm a human and I'm, you know, again, like to have fun, but that I can start that bonding process with potential clients before we even say hello. That they could say, oh, I like to CrossFit too. I go to this gym. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? What's your Fran time? You know, things like that. So same with roller coasters and Ninja Turtles, you know, so that's why I want to do that, not only to give the human aspect, but to try and find that bonding and get that relationship started before we even say hello.
Yeah,
Super genius.
Crucial.
Super genius. We are asking Kristen, the rock star rookie, what her number one piece of advice is for new agents coming into the real estate industry.
Oh, there's so much to give.
You can throw more than one.
You can do top 5.
Oh, top 5. All right. I'm in no particular order. One is just making sure that you find a brokerage that's a good fit for you. You know, there is so much competition and so many different companies and ways of doing things, and it's not always going to be a good fit for you and your personality and the way you work and things like that. Finding Elite was the best thing that ever happened to me.
My heart is full.
But, you know, you get wooed in by the commission splits, and you might find some that are a little bit more beneficial to the agent to start out, but what are they not giving you? Are they not training? Are they not providing leads to you, the CRM, the one-on-ones that you give, things like that. So really just shop around and take all the factors into consideration to make sure that it's a good fit for your personality. Second is never stop learning. You know, my goal, we sat down in the beginning and we talked about what my goals were. And coming in, it was very hard for me to determine that because I didn't know what was realistic. Yeah. You know, I have all these lofty goals, but in my first year, not having any leads, no experience, you know, what can I expect to do? And the results I should see. So my number one goal coming in was learn. Sit there, come into the office, observe, listen to conversations, eavesdrop. I've learned so much by eavesdropping in a good way, not a creepy way. But just being in the office, I've absorbed so many different tidbits and just things I never would have thought about, different perspectives. So that's been huge. Trust in the process. Don't get discouraged. I mean, I had a couple dark places in the beginning. I just needed one good lead, one solid lead.
I remember that. Oh, you came to me and you were like, I've been doing this for 3 weeks and I haven't seen what I want. And I was like, hang in there. And like the next week, you're like, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closings. I have 3 renters. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. And it can go from 0 to 60 just like that. So don't get discouraged. Think of the positives. Find the silver linings. There's always a silver lining. I mean, you can always, learning is going to be in every experience. So if nothing else comes of it, you've learned, you can grow, and you're going to do better next time.
Amen.
So yeah, it's probably my top 3. Well, I'll stop there.
Okay. I have a good question. So you mentioned like some really dark times. So we talk about great grace in real estate, and you covered real estate. What do you do on those tough days when you got to either get gritty or give yourself grace or a little bit of both?
Yeah, so I've been able to get through a lot of that in talking with you and some of the other agents and just venting for a second and talking it out and knowing that I'm not alone in these situations, that every agent has been through it too, and they've come out the other side and they're stronger. They have that knowledge. So that misstep or whatever it was won't happen again. So that helps in my understanding and processing of it. Going to the gym helps too, blowing off that steam.
Absolutely.
Having family time, just putting pause. The next 3 hours are just to my family. We're going to go get pizza. We're going to go to Dave & Buster's. We're going to have some fun, have a board game night, things like that, and just kind of recenter myself. And then wake up the next day. All right, let's do this. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. And I'm glad that you do that because I think sometimes newer agents are scared to hit the pause button. Like, oh, I'll miss something. I'll miss something. I'll miss something. I'm like, bro, there's no title company open at midnight or 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock or after 5, right? Yes. Like after 5 is like your time. If you don't have showing scheduled, enjoy that family time, have that balance. And I think that's attributed to your success too. You haven't let yourself let it go crazy. You've trusted the process. You've plugged into your family and your friends and your support and the gym and healthy, good, positive habits. And that will take you everywhere. Great tips. Great shares. Definitely. Yes. Anything we haven't asked you that you just want to share with the world?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I think you've covered a lot of it in the branding and just remaining true to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try to be someone else. I just joined a couple of real estate groups that are nationwide, and one's geared towards newer agents. And so I'm seeing a lot of questions, and I like doing that too because it generates more thoughts for me.
Sure. Yeah.
And what else can I do? Oh, this is a way you've beat a highest and best. That's fantastic. I'm going to implement that. So that's another tidbit maybe is just think outside of your area, your geographic area, and where there are other opportunities that I can learn other than the traditional classroom or training facilities. There, you can learn from the people that are doing what you do.
Yeah.
But one question came, was about she has tattoos, visible tattoos, and should I cover that up? And, I put this as a comment, and so many other people reiterated it. Just be true to yourself because you're going to draw the clients that are a good fit for you. If you're trying to cover up and hide and be someone you're not going to have a good experience with them.
Yeah.
That's just remain true to yourself. Trust the process. Keep thinking positively.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I love it. And I think you've done such a great job of that because from day one, like you made your own buyer's letter and it was super cute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can I use that too? Right. So I think that's important to understand that even, I'm a broker. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. But I'm still always learning every day. And I can learn just as much from somebody who's on day one who's had a background in other areas or is more creative or, got a new app that really is great for making buyer's letters or is just super fun, right? Like one of them, I remember you said that like the little son like loves to run fast or play tag or something. I'm like, that's so cute. I would never thought to put that in a letter, So that's a great piece of advice is staying true to yourself, not being afraid to maybe do things a little different than you were taught because we all need to keep pivoting in this industry. It's always changing. We're always learning. There's always something new we can do, a way we can make it better, and not being scared to do that or ask, is this okay to do? I was thinking about XYZ. What do you think? And I love that you do that. Like you bounce those ideas off instead of being like, oh, well, I think this is a good idea, but nobody at my office does it, so maybe I shouldn't, and that's super strong. And I think that'll take you a really far away. So, Kylie, what else do you got?
I'm just so glad we're friends. I just love you so much. We bonded so much over the week of Stars training, and you guys gave me a lot of grace because I was constantly late and going to the bathroom because I was like 9 months pregnant, and I love that I love that you, like you talked about, making it a team effort. When I went on maternity leave, you were my go-to. You helped my clients. You took care of them the way that I would. And you are just, I just love working with you. I'm so glad that we're in each other's lives. Mushy moment.
That's a great point too. Like you do that for me too. Like, oh, hey, Kristen, I can't get out in 5 seconds. Can you go show this house? And you're like, yep, I'm on it. Like that is an amazing thing to do, to be such a strong team player, and everybody knows they can count on you and depend on you. And then you know that when you went to Alaska, we're like, okay, how can we help? How can we get jump in? And making it that team effort and that team feel, because especially in real estate, it can feel lonely sometimes. But you have to be open to being loved on, right? And you walk in and you're like, hey guys, I'm here. Who wants to go to lunch? Who wants to do this? Like, let's do this, and you're open to that. And I think that when you stay open like that, and that's a great tip for agents at all levels, because I think also a lot of veteran agents kind of close off. They're like, well, I've been doing this forever, so this is how I do it, and that's it, and I don't need anybody else. Like I have my office and I have my 10 million, 20 million, 50 million in production, and they miss out on a lot, right? And then they have to pay people constantly absorbent amounts of money to help them. Whereas if you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You throw me a client, I throw you a client. You help when I'm on vacation, I help when you're on vacation. You buy me lunch, I buy you lunch, right? And that is a great way to feel, and that is a great way to do business, and that's great for the long term, because you love on your people, you love on your clients, you love on your team, and they're going to continue loving on you and sending you those referrals and helping you build that business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's really what the elite life is about. It is teamwork, partnership, family, love, peace, chicken grease, all the things. All the things. Well, thanks so much again, Kristen, for joining us today. It was such a joy to chat with you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure, truly. I'm sure we'll see you again. For all of you out there listening, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. Slap that bell so you can get updates every time we drop a new episode. And we would love to hear from you. While you're there, please leave a comment and a 5-star review, because you want to, and you love us. And sharing is caring, like we said. So take the link to our YouTube, our podcast, whatever platform you're listening on. Share it with your friends on social media. Give it to your neighbor. Tell everybody about it. And we'll see you next time on The Elite Life.
We thank you so much for joining us today on The Elite Life with Trish and Kylie. Be sure to share the episode with a friend so we can continue bringing you more great tips on grit, grace, and real estate. You can also connect with us on Instagram, Facebook. We hope the ideas we share continue to help you build an empire and leave a legacy.